Tonight on First and 9 this Thursday, the 25th of April 2024. Completion. India's luxury hotel chain ITC Ratnadeepa opens its latest hotel in the heart of Colombo. President Ranil Wickremesinghe invites more investors to Sri Lanka's hotel industry. Black Mark. An international investigation on the Easter attacks is an insult to the nation, says Chief Opposition Whip Lakshman Kiriyalla. Baseless. Former President Gotabaya Rajapakse denies all allegations levelled by Cardinal Ranjit regarding the Easter attacks probe. SLFP crisis. Sri Lanka Freedom Party national organizer parliamentarian Dumitha Dissanayake appointed as the new acting General Secretary of the SLFP. And no mercy. Public Securities Minister asks Sri Lanka police to use extreme force if necessary to wipe out the underworld.
ඔබේ විශ්වාසය දිනු සෙන්සුරයින් දැන් ළඟම ඇති ෆාමසියෙන් ලබාගත හැක.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to First at 9. Good to see you once again on this Thursday night. Appreciate your company. A lot of stories, a lot of big things happening in this country tonight as we speak, because apparently it's something towards the positive end of things. Good evening, India.
Good evening. Good evening. A very warm welcome to all of you. We have a number of big stories to report tonight, as Mahesh said. On one hand, we have political developments, and on the other, developments.
Economical developments because
buildings coming up
2 years down, yeah, exactly 2 years down the line prior we were not thinking that within 2 years we would be able to open big hotel chains in Sri Lanka, and not just a smaller chain, but this is one of the I think this is the biggest building in Sri Lanka right now, the ITC Ratnadeepa, which was declared open by the President today, and it seems to be I think it has more than 40 stories right now, and I think it is the biggest or the tallest building in Sri Lanka. Or could it be the one that is next to our studios, which is the Lotus Tower?
Yeah, that's a question. But President Ranil Wickremesinghe invites more hotel chains to come invest in Sri Lanka, and that lands will be provided for investments in the country. So that's one story that we're focusing on. And again, the Easter Sunday attacks, the conversation surrounding the attacks, the probe, and bringing to book the culprits of the attacks continues to be discussed. In Parliament, the Cardinal too raised concerns, levelled allegations against the former President, and he has sent us a letter to the public refuting these allegations.
Indeed, it's interesting to see that there's a back and forth, and the story about the Easter Sunday attacks and the Mahamolakaru is the word that keeps going around, and a lot of people are trying to figure it out. It's sad to see that it is once again coming up in an election year, and will this, because in 2019 also we saw this as a sentiment towards that particular election, and here we go again in 2024. Once again it is surfacing. The Catholic community, the Christian community is concerned about this, because they don't want this to be another political tool for people to use it from this to that to this to that. They need answers. So one of the those are things that
they were hurt. They were hurt
very,
once.
Very, very.
They are the victims of these attacks, and these sentiments, these allegations, all these conversations continue to hurt them again in the very heart of their wound.
Absolutely.
So there's also the SLFP crisis, and
a drama,
yes, and Dumitha Dissanayake has been appointed as the new acting General Secretary. Also, Derana's Public Security Minister says no mercy. Yes.
Wipe up the underworld. That's what he wants. Anyway, a lot of stories to bring to you tonight. So let's begin with our headline story, which is about the ITC Ratnadeepa opening here in Sri Lanka. Now, while awaiting more hotel chains to invest in Sri Lanka, President Ranil Wickremesinghe indicated that more lands in Sri Lanka will be made available for the development of hotels.
Addressing the opening ceremony of the luxury hotel ITC Ratnadeepa of India's ITC group of hotels, the head of state also revealed plans on converting Colombo into a tourist city.
Meanwhile, Indian High Commissioner in Colombo, Santosh Jha, pledged India's support in promoting tourism in Sri Lanka.
Built with an investment of $400 million, ITC Ratmalana is the first luxurious hotel built outside of India by the ITC group of hotels.
ITC Ratmalana, a luxury hotel belonging to India's ITC group of hotels, was ceremoniously declared open in Colombo today under the patronage of President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Built adjacent the Goldface Green in the heart of Colombo, ITC Ratmalana is the first luxurious hotel built outside India by the ITC group of hotels. The hotel, which was constructed with an investment of $400 million, consists of 352 rooms. The most iconic feature of the hotel is its bridge, constructed 100 feet from the ground, connecting the two towers of the hotel.
The plaque, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together. This is the grand opening of the ITC.
The world is going through a digital transformation. Large parts of the world have serious demographic challenges, and there's a resurgence of tourism in this part of the world. The youth today want to explore much more than people in my generation. And I'm saying this also having witnessed, we see tourism as a very, very big opportunity going forward. It's also an area that
I'm sure that hotels such as ITC Ratmalana will help Sri Lanka attract more tourists and in turn more hotel and tourism related investments in this country. The potential for this is clearly far greater than what we see happening today, and we remain determined to support our Sri Lankan friends in promoting tourism and investments into this country.
Thank you for coming to Sri Lanka, for being the first hotel that ITC has opened outside India. Of the 10,000 rooms they had in India, they thought now they're here in Sri Lanka is the best place to come into. It's also a commitment that you all are making to Sri Lanka, because you must remember, and I have no doubt, that there will be other spots in Sri Lanka that can be developed. Well, next to you, in the next decade, as the President's house moves on to Madivela, whole of the Republic Square, the Navy headquarters, the jetty, the old jetty, and the Customs House, GPO, all will become a part of the tourist city. In Galle already they have identified a number of locations for hotels in Kandy, in Nuwara, just to mention some of them that we have. And the new plan for tourism will indicate the locations for tourism for hotels in Sri Lanka. And of course, I forgot, they will have to have one in Trincomalee. India is now one of the rising economic giants, and we in Sri Lanka is in a crucial location for logistics next to India, and also now joining the process. So tourism is certainly one of the items that will be coming in here. And I have no doubt that for many Indians, Sri Lanka will be the appropriate place to spend a holiday. Time to come, it will be easier for a person in Bangalore or Chennai or Hyderabad to jump into a plane and come here than go to the northern part of India. So I hope this will encourage many other hotels, many other companies from other parts of the world come and invest here. Tourism proposals will be announced in the coming next 2 months, what it should be, because we have identified tourism as one of the main sectors of the economy. The first round to go up to 5 million, and also to target the average as we go on of $500, right? But it doesn't mean everyone pays that. You have the luxury hotels like this, and the others, coming especially the young people, will pay monthly a small amount.
And former President Gotabaya Rajapakse says he denies allegations levelled against him by Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit.
Now, the Cardinal alleges that the former president had communicated to the Cardinal during a telephone conversation that he is faced with difficulties in implementing recommendations of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry that probed the Easter Sunday attacks.
Issuing a letter today, the former president denied making such a phone call.
He went on to refute allegations of delaying the process of handing over the report to the Cardinal.
During a commemoration ceremony for the 5th anniversary of the Easter Sunday attacks, Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, accused former President Gotabaya Rajapakse of not implementing the recommendations of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry that probed the Easter Sunday attacks.
පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරය පිළිබඳව විනිවිද පෙනෙන පරීක්ෂණයක්.
Former President Gotabaya Rajapakse, who assured that a transparent investigation would be conducted with regard to the Easter Sunday attacks, telephoned me a day after he received the report of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry to probe the attacks to say that he is facing difficulties in implementing its recommendations. I remember him saying that he was unable to implement the recommendations of the report, highlighting that he will have to arrest leaders of the organizations allied to him and ban those organizations.
නොහැකි බවත් සඳහන් කළ අයුරු මට මතක් වේ.
However, in a letter released to the media today, former President Gotabaya Rajapakse said he did not speak to the Cardinal over the phone following his receipt of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry report. Neither did tell him that the recommendations of the Presidential Commission could not be implemented because it would entail the arrest of people and even the banning of organizations allied with him, highlighting that the Muslim community in general did not vote for him or support his candidature at the presidential election. The former head of state said he cannot possibly have had any allies in any organization that would need to be banned over complicity in the Easter Sunday attacks. Further, former President Gotabaya Rajapakse noted that the report was handed over to the Speaker of Parliament on the 23rd of February 2021, following self-study and reference by the Attorney General after receiving it on the 1st of February 2021. He stated that by the 1st of March 2021, copies were handed over to the chief prelates, the Cardinal and the Catholic bishops, thereby adding that there was no delay in handing over the report to the Cardinal. While highlighting that the Easter Sunday attacks were perpetrated by a group of Islamic extremists, Gotabaya Rajapakse pointed out that the highest investigative arm of the then government, the CID, had been investigating the activities of the very same individuals and groups that carried out the suicide bombings several months prior to the attacks. However, they failed to apprehend them prior to the attacks. The former president stated in his letter that the public should take good note of the fact that His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit either glosses over the responsibility of or expressly absolves the two parties involved while continuing to relentlessly attack and criticize him over the Easter Sunday suicide bombings.
A parliamentarian of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya and Chief Government Whip Lakshman Kiriyala says that the Samagi Jana Balawegaya only intends to conduct a local investigation on the Easter attacks with the support of the international community.
Joining the debate on the 2019 Easter attacks in Parliament today, Kiriyala said that handing over the international community to completely probe the attacks will be a black mark on the entire country.
Meanwhile, independent parliamentarian Udaya Gammanpila and said that the statement made by former President Maithripala Sirisena based on his knowledge about the mastermind of the Easter attacks is false as per unofficial reports.
In a statement, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit claimed that both the former government and the government in power are trying to conceal the truth. He also claims that Gotabaya Rajapakse contacted him the day after he received the report on the recommendations of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry that probed the Easter Sunday attacks. He said he is unable to implement those recommendations. I will ask him why he could not tell that earlier. These statements showcase that a just investigation is not being carried out. That is why the Cardinal intends to take the matter to the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva. If he does so, it will be a black mark on our country. However, a government led by Samagi Jana Balawegaya does not intend to hand over the entire investigation to the international community. We are not ready for that because it is, again, a black mark for the country.
While justice needs to be served to the Catholic community, including the Cardinal, I believe that the investigations need to be conducted based on information that is factually correct.
There are reports with evidence of officials failing to fulfill their duty in preventing these attacks. As a result, the main accused are those who failed to prevent these attacks. We have a suspicion that both the suicide bombers and those who failed to prevent the attacks jointly carried this out. This is serious. I would like to clarify the accusations leveled against a national list candidate of our party. Ibrahim represented our national list as a candidate in 2015. However, we did not select him without a criteria. Former President Mahinda Rajapakse handed him the Deshakirti Award. He was awarded as the best exporter by former Minister G.L. Pires. Then Deputy Minister Sujeeva Senasinghe handed him the Best Entrepreneur Award in 2017. That is about Ibrahim. 5 years have passed since the attacks. Has the government prosecuted him? If so, what are the charges filed against him?
I'm disappointed over the conduct of the past governments. When attempts were made to weaken intelligence services, the leaders could have intervened and taken control. However, they failed to do that. We formed an intelligence service that was close to RAW and Mossad in terms of its capabilities. The weakening of that intelligence service was the reason for this attack. The government has to take responsibility for that.
We uncovered so much information about the Easter Sunday attacks. Pillayan was released from jail because everyone feared a problem if Pillayan opened his mouth. I request the President not to save him and tarnish your reputation. He has only 50,000 votes. Please arrest and interrogate him.
Former President Maithripala Sirisena said he knows the masterminds behind the Easter Sunday attacks. Based on unofficial information we received, the statement made by Sirisena is false. A former president of the country has taken the country's national security for a joke. People who make such statements to create chaos in the country need to be arrested.
The Japanese International Cooperation Agency has agreed to start the second phase of the Anuradhapura North water supply project. Following its completion, the project will meet the drinking water needs of 50,000 families in Padaviya, Kabithigolava, Horopatana and Kahadagasmullava divisional secretariat areas covering 119 Grama Niladhari divisions. State Minister of Finance Shahant Semasinghe said JICA expressed its agreement to extend the time frame for providing financial facilities for the start of the second phase of the Anuradhapura North Water Supply Project. This was stated at a special discussion held at the Ministry of Finance with the participation of the head of JICA, Yamada Tetsuya. Accordingly, instructions were given to the Water Supply and Drainage Board to obtain cabinet approval to resume work. As Sri Lanka plunged into an economic crisis and declared bankruptcy, all construction projects funded by JICA were halted. As the country gradually recovers from the crisis, JICA has expressed its eagerness to restart halted projects within the country.
Well, Minister of Public Security Tilan Alas asked the officers of the Sri Lanka Police not to hesitate to use extreme force if necessary when eliminating gang violence in the country.
He said this while joining the passing out ceremony of the Rapid Development Rider Squad of Sri Lanka Police.
The Rapid Deployment Rider Force passing out ceremony was held today at the Katukurunda Special Task Force Training Centre under the patronage of Minister of Public Security Derana and Inspector General of Police Deshabandhu Tennakon. 50 teams comprising 100 specially trained Special Task Force police officers were dispersed to operate simultaneously with the Special Task Force Rapid Deployment Rider teams. As per instructions of the Inspector General of Police, along with the Yukti operation, this force is operating to suppress underworld crimes centered on the western and southern provinces.
Although there are 607 police divisions in the country, underworld activities have taken place only within 62 police divisions. That is 40 police divisions in the western province, 20 police divisions in the southern province and 2 police divisions in the Sabaragama province. We have identified 20 such gangs and we have begun pursuing them. From today onwards, we will put these rider teams in action. We have given them the necessary training to pursue gangs engaging in shooting and counterattacks.
What I request is that all officers who have joined these rider teams to go for the goals that we have set without any fear. If you are in a situation where you have to use the weapon you have been given, use it for the right cause. We will stand by you. We will stand by the truth. There is no need to think twice. Eliminating people who bring in drugs and engage in gang violence is not a sin.
The Sri Lanka Freedom Party national organizer parliamentarian Duminda Disanayake was appointed as the new acting general secretary of the SLFP after the Colombo District Court yesterday temporarily banned Minister of Justice Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapakse from holding the same office via an interim injunction.
Now, the appointment was made today during a Politburo meeting of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party convened under the patronage of the party acting chairman, Minister of Ports, Shipping and Aviation, Nimal Siripala de Silva.
During an executive committee meeting of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party convened by the group of SLFP members supporting former President Maithripala Sirisena on Sunday, Minister of Justice Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapakse was appointed as acting chairman of the party. The appointment was made despite Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva functioning in the same role after being appointed during a Politburo meeting held under the patronage of the SLFP's senior advisor, former President Chandrika Bandaranayake Kumaratunga. However, Minister of Agriculture Mahinda Amaravira, Parliamentarian Duminda Disanayake and State Minister of Transport Lasantha Alagiwanna filed a case against Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapakse's appointment before the Colombo District Court. The case was taken up for hearing yesterday. After considering the facts, the Colombo District Court issued an interim injunction against Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapakse and Dushmantha Mitrapala from functioning as the SLFP's acting chairman and acting general secretary respectively until the 8th of May. Following the court order, former President Maithripala Sirisena's faction of the SLFP convened a meeting at the offices of the Sri Lanka Nidahas Sevak Sangamaya in Rajgiriya.
We welcome these obstacles. We will derive strength from them and lead the Sri Lanka Freedom Party to victory. We respect the judiciary. We will resolve this issue via courts. We will not allow our opponents to ally the Sri Lanka Freedom Party with the United National Party.
Meanwhile, former President Maithripala Sirisena today sent a letter of demand to the Sri Lanka Freedom Party Senior Vice President Mahinda Amaravira seeking compensation for defamatory comments made against him. The former president seeks compensation of 1 billion rupees for Amaravira's comments on Monday to the effect that him convening a party executive committee meeting and appointing an acting party chairman should be considered contempt of court. In the meantime, General Secretary of the United People's Freedom Alliance, Tilanga Sumathipala, convened a meeting of the UPFA at the SLFP headquarters.
මේ නඩුව බවලින් අවතාවක් වෙන්නේ පක්ෂය දුර්වල වීම එක පැත්තකින් අනෙක් පැත්තෙන් පාක්ෂිකයා විශාල කඩාවැටීමකට ලක් වීම අනාගතයේ අපිට පාර්ලිමේන්තු මැතිවරණත් ඉල්ලන්න බැරි තැනකට මේක තල්ලු වෙනවා. ඇත්තට මේ ශ්‍රී ලංකන් දස් පක්ෂයට මෙහෙම වෙන්නේ හේතුව කවුද? මෛත්‍රීපාල සිරිසේන මැතිතුමාද? එතුමා තමයි ඉතින් පළවෙනි වැරද්ද කරේ.
The SLFP's Politburo also convened today at the Sri Lanka Foundation Institute in Colombo under the patronage of acting party chairman Nimal Siripala de Silva. During the meeting, SLFP national organizer Duminda Disanayake was appointed acting general secretary of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party.
Can you feel it? New Dulux Pentolite Hygiene Plus. Refreshing walls for generations.
Dulux. ජීවිතේ හැම තැනකදීම ස්මාර්ට් වෙන්න. පොලිය විතරක් ගෙවාගෙන යන්න. CDB Smart Draft.
Business news now. The Japanese government has provided a grant of $3 million through the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations to strengthen inland fishing and rural livelihoods in partnership with the Ministry of Fisheries. Now, the grant is planned to be allocated to a one-year project that will boost the establishment of 4 community-operated mini hatcheries in Batticaloa, Mullaitivu, Anuradhapura and Monragala districts. It will also be used to upgrade 4 agriculture centres and 1 community-operated mini fish breeding centre.
US Secretary of State Antony Blinken called on China to provide a level playing field for American businesses as he began a visit aimed at resolving a raft of contentious issues that could jeopardize the newly repaired relationship.
Now, Blinken's trip is the latest high-level contact between the two nations with working groups on issues from global trade and military communication.
Well, I think we have more coming up on our next Bulletin World News tonight for the very latest in international news. But that's all from First at Night for tonight.
Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Mahish Jodi.
And I'm Indivari Amortha. Good night.